The eternal architect, the rise and ruin of the Roman worldly, the prologue, the ghost in the stone. Look at a map of the modern world. You see nations' sharp borders drawn in ink, capitals glowing with power, highways threading through continents. But beneath that map, there is another dot, an older one, invisible, yet unmistakable, a skeleton of stone, law, and logic. It is Roman. 2,000 years ago, if you stood in the Roman Forum, you were not just in a city, you were standing at the center of a system that believed itself eternal. A golden milestone marked the point from which all distances in the empire were measured. Every road, every conquest, every ambition radiated outward from this single place, from the cold, misty frontiers of Britannia to the gold-rich lands south of Egypt, from the forests of Germania to the spice routes of the east. Rome did not just exist in the world. Rome defined the world. But how does a small settlement of farmers beside a muddy river rise to dominate millions? How does it endure for centuries, and then slowly unravel? The answer is not luck. It is discipline, ruthless adaptation, a system that could absorb failure and return stronger. And at its heart, an idea that order, imposed with enough force and precision, could last forever. This is the story of Rome, not just how it rose but how it worked, and how, piece by piece, it came undone. 2. Part 1. The Republic of Iron. Rome's story begins not with glory but with rejection. In 509 BCE, the Romans expelled their last king Tarquin the Proud and swore an oath no man would ever rule them again. They created the Republic, res publica, the public matter. Power was divided with precision. The Senate guided policy. The assemblies represented the citizens. The tribunes defended the common people and could stop decisions with a single word, veto. 2 consuls ruled at one siege, able to block the other, because Rome did not trust power. It engineered a system to contain it, but beyond its borders, Rome was something else entirely. Its armies were not the most elegant, but they were the most adaptable. They abandoned rigid formations for flexible units to manipulate, allowing them to fight across hills, forests, and chaos itself. Then came Carthage, and Hannibal Barca, a commander so daring he marched elephants across the Alps and crushed Roman armies again and again. At Cannae, tens of thousands of Romans died in a single day. Most civilizations would have surrendered. Rome did not. It rebuilt, recruited, returned. Rome didn't win because it was unbeatable. Rome won because it refused to break. By 146 BCE, Carthage was gone, and Rome stood alone. Part 2. The death of liberty. Victory changed Rome. Wealth flooded in, but it did not reach everyone. Small farmers lost their land to vast estates. Latifundia worked by slaves. The backbone of the Republic began to disappear, and soldiers changed their loyalty, no longer to the state, but to their generals. Then came Gaius Julius Caesar, not just a general but a master of image and influence. In Gaul, he conquered hundreds of tribes and wrote about it. His words spread across Rome, shaping how people saw him. He turned war into narrative, and narrative into power. In 49 BCE, Caesar reached the Rubicon River. To cross it with an army was treason. He paused, then spoke. Alia Iacta estate. The die is cast. He crossed. Civil war followed. He won, and declared himself dictator for life. Rome remembered its fear of kings. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, 23 senators struck. They believed they were saving the Republic. They were ending it. From the chaos rose Augustus, quiet, calculated. He kept the Senate but stripped it of power. He controlled the army, the treasury, the future. The Republic did not collapse in a moment. It faded, replaced by empire. 4. Part 3. The High Empire and the concrete miracle. For 2 centuries, Rome flourished. This was the Pax Romana. Cities thrived, trade expanded, life, for many, reached levels of comfort not seen again for over 1,000 years. Rome built not just for today but for eternity. They discovered pozzolana volcanic ash that created concrete capable of hardening underwater. From it rose structures like the Pantheon, its dome still unmatched in scale. Water flowed across the empire through aqueducts, engineering so precise that gravity alone sustained entire cities. But this brilliance came with control. To maintain order, Rome fed its people and entertained them, bread and spectacle. At the Colosseum, blood soaked the Sanharina, giving us the word arena. Violence became ritual. Power became performance. Part 4. The 3rd century Chrysostom. Everything began to fracture. In 50 years, over 20 emperors, most killed. The economy collapsed. Currency lost value. Inflation surged. Disease spread. Cities weakened. At the borders, pressure mounted. The Goths, the Vandals, the Alemanni, not just invaders but displaced people searching for survival. Rome was no longer expanding. It was holding on. Emperor Diocletian divided the empire, creating the Tetrarchy. Then came Constantine. He moved the capital to Byzantium, renaming it Constantinople. And he changed history. He legalized Christianity. The old gods fell silent. Rome was transforming. Part 5. The long goodbye. The fall of Rome was not an explosion. It was decay, gradual, relentless. In 410 CE, Rome was sacked. The unthinkable happened. Then, in 476 CE, a young emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was removed, not by conquest, but by dismissal. A general d'oath surrendered the Western Empire. The imperial robes were sent east. Rome was gone. Epilogue. We are still Romans, but Rome did not disappear. It transformed. Its ideas endured. In law, in architecture, in language, the Romans believed their empire was eternal. They were wrong, and yet, not entirely, because Rome's greatest creation was not its empire. It was its legacy, a foundation upon which the modern world was built. Sig transit gloria mundi, thus passes the glory of the world. But Rome's glory never truly vanished. It became everything that followed.